Welcome everyone. I'm the Van Edwards, and this is
Zay Faith.
and welcome to Total Freedom Events. If you haven't subscribed yet, you might want to subscribe because we're providing a lot of value to support you into living your best life and learn how to complete your commitments. And if you're an entrepreneur, put a one in the chat. If you're just viewing and you're just following us at this moment and you don't know what you're currently up to in life, press 2. And if you're figuring out what you want to do, press 3 in the comments below. So you might be wondering what we're about to talk about. And so what we're about to talk about and the understanding of fun is not optional. I want you to put in the comments, fun is not optional. Even if you don't understand it just yet, put in the comments, fun is not optional. And we're going to start today and just talk about why fun is not optional, especially because as we're entrepreneurs and we understand that we get to have fun, but it gets to be done in a structured way, which actually is more fulfilling in the bigger view, which we found out. So Zay, do you want to talk a bit more about that before we go?
Absolutely. So for the people who are like me, I had to learn that I can have fun now in life and in my business. For people who are a little bit more serious and just think we have this program that things are hard, and I'm learning that I can have fun and I can live life and things can be easy. I don't have to put so much energy and effort to get things done, right? And so if you're anything like me, listen, do not be ashamed. It took me a long time of thinking I have to muscle my way through to get the results I want, and that is just not the case. And so this is super important because once I really started to imply, okay, I get to schedule fun time for myself and not be guilty about it. My time off is my time off, and I get to enjoy it and I get to be free. It changed everything, and it's continued to change because I'm learning what are the things that really fill me up. So whenever I do go back to work, I am being, the most productive, the most engaged while I'm working. So in short, when I'm working, I'm at work and I max out and I give it my all. And then whenever I'm off of work, I'm enjoying my life. I'm being myself, and I'm breathing. There's space, there's time. I don't feel overwhelmed, and I'm not crossing my work with my personal life. Even though as entrepreneurs, it is so hard to turn it off. I honestly don't know if we're wired to turn it off. But it definitely is supportive when we schedule time that is fun and that is ours.
Yeah, but I think that's the reason why we are wired to not turn it off, as entrepreneurs, because that's why we have the structure. Because it's not to box us in, but it's to really organize and centralize our thoughts, and that's what I guess we follow that framework and that method of really centralizing our thoughts and saying, okay, this is what's going on in the mind of an entrepreneur, and I was all these different things, these big ideas, these big actions that we want to take, and all that good stuff. But what can we do now? What can we do now that's going to serve us not only in our business but in our life, every aspect of our life, even in our body, our health. I don't know who out there is workaholics, and you just have this innate desire just to work. You feel like you have to keep doing something. But then on the back end, you're receiving burnout. You're getting burned out. And it's all of a sudden you're tired and you don't want to do activities that you actually want to do because you're tired, or there's no synergy taking place. And we realize that you're not it's just not fun. I've been even recently, the past few months, to a year, 6 months to a year, there was a time where it's Saturdays, it was hard for me to like, because that would be my rest days. Saturday, it was hard for me to take a rest day on Saturday.
Yeah.
It was like they can
I was like, boy, we not working. I don't know. You can work. I'm over here relaxing.
Literally, the internal conflict was at an all-time high. Like I was like, you know what, I gotta do this. But I was like, but what had happened was, as they say, so what happened really was that I got to understand what the benefit of doing that would be. You know, it's like, okay, what happens if I do take a moment of rest? So it's like a moment to reset, a moment to recharge. And I found out that like I got to re-energize myself. I got to like rise up and get more clarity within the direction I'm going, and actually don't just don't just run and be running in the wrong direction. Run and know the direction I'm going to, because I'm very clear on what's going on, because I reset my whole body and reset my mind and everything, and manage my mind, because now this is scheduled in, you know, now that this is something that I've actually prioritized. I'm not just getting blown with the wind, you know. And one of the things we like to talk about is like when we're like thinking about what we want to do, because we know what we want, but we just do we even give ourselves time to think? Like, ask yourself, like, how often do you actually really give yourself time to think? Or are you outsourcing your thoughts? Are you just looking for external validation? Or are you just looking for someone to tell you what to do? But like, what are you telling yourself? Like this is your life, this is your day. Like, what are you telling yourself? And even in business, like, we get to have fun. We have a lot of fun, like, doing what we do. We have a lot of fun, but
I had to learn how to, because I used to be super serious.
Exactly, it's learned.
Like, this is my business, I am a CEO. Not literally, but like the energy I was given was like, okay, this is my work and it has to be hard, or you know what I mean? Like, I thought, like, even though I'm silly and goofy, especially like with him, but in my business I wasn't being like that, and so it was kind of like unnecessary friction, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and so it's like, it's funny because like when it comes to fun, it's like we got to think about, okay, what does fun look like to us? Like, are we traveling? Are we creating memories? You know, we doing activities? You know, all that stuff. And it's funny because this year we actually created memories, traveled about 4 times this year. Now that I think about it, because we went San Diego, Texas, twice, we've been moving. Costa Rica.
Yeah, we have been. So first of all, let us know where you're watching from. Right now, we are in Virginia. But we have traveled a lot this year. So let us know, like, if you're watching the replay, if you're watching live. I've know we're streaming across like 5-6 different platforms right now. We'll probably keep uploading it to different platforms. But let us know, where are you watching from? And we say that because we do travel. And so if we're in your city, we would love to like have lunch with you, meet up. And so definitely let us know. Type in the chat. And you may be on one of the platforms that don't allow us to. Right now we are on Restream, and you may be on a platform that don't let us see your chat, but we are going to go back to all the platforms and talk to you. But we want to know, like, where you at, because, you know, as entrepreneurs, one of the most important things is us creating community. And again, like, learning to not say I have to, this came up for me. So being open to being present in this new lifetime. And I say that because, you know, we have been brainwashed to think that we can't retire until we're in our 60s, 50s, 70s, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? But honestly, you can live your full life. You can travel. You can create those memories. You can, you know, have different activities in your life now. You don't have to wait until the weekend. And that's something that I was telling him earlier this week. I'm like, okay, like, yeah, we have our Saturdays off, but one thing that we get to do in our business, we get to end work at a certain time. We don't. Sometimes we're finishing work at 9, 10, 11 at night. But I'm like, how can we, challenge ourselves and get tasks done within a certain time frame? You know what I mean? So we're not, so even on a Monday or a Tuesday, I can be done with work as an entrepreneur. I can be done at 5, 6 o'clock. Look, that's still super late, but I can be done. Like the goal is to be done before noon, right? But I can be done by 5, 6 o'clock, and I can have my personal life too within my week, and not waiting until Saturday, or not waiting. What I was about to say, like a lot of us think that we can't travel or we can't live our life until sometime in the future, or when we're 50 and 60, and that's not the reality in 2023 and after. That's not the reality today. You and I will say, one of the things we love about being entrepreneurs is that we can literally do our business anywhere. Like we don't report to a office or whatever. And so with that being said, as an entrepreneur, like, create, be creative in your calendar, be creative in your day, be creative in your schedule, and don't think that you can't travel or you can't have activities within your day that are fulfilling. I know a couple of times, like last year, I started doing this, but I would literally read. I would literally be like, okay, I've had enough work. I need to take a moment for me right now. And I just would read for like an hour or two. Even though that's something I do part of my AM PM routine or on the weekend, like I did it in the middle of a work day. And I gave myself space, because in that moment, that's what I needed. I just needed to step away from my computer and read. And so creating different experiences and memories and activities with ourselves or with our families, it makes life better. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but that just came up, that we don't get to wait until our 50s and 60s. We get to do life now, and we get to experience and create it. Like we get to be creative in our schedule. Yeah, we can work a 9 to 5 in our business, but what if we, like for us, for me, I like to be a timer. And so I know, like, if I give myself like, okay, intentionally, like, okay, Zay, you're only gonna take an hour to do this task. I take an hour, and if I don't knock it out, I have to eat that, but I still get to move on to the next task. So I'm not working until 11 p.m. at night.
It's a bit mad. No, but like
we be wilding.
But it's funny because whenever we go through those motions, we know what's happening, but it's like sometimes like we choose to disregard it.
But another thing is, and I think the band is more like this. I will say we're in a unique situation. As y'all may know, we are an international couple. The band is British, and I am American. And so, like, it's a lot of things. So I will say the band is, I am too. Like, we both are like night owls, but just based on the vision that I have for my schedule and for my life, I personally want like things just a little bit more traditional. Even though as an entrepreneur, I can wake up late and be up all night. So just based on where I'm going and the vision that we have, I personally want to be a little bit more traditional with work. And when I say traditional, I mean like working Monday through Friday, off at a certain time, but with my entrepreneur business. But some people naturally, like, because you are an entrepreneur, like, don't feel like, oh, because they're talking about it, that means I need to be doing it. Like, we all get to make our own decision and figure out what resonates with us, individually. So if you like Devin, I will say he's a night person. He maximizes at night. And so maybe he probably will just go ahead and keep his schedule. But I just want to say that I want to remind you that this is your business. You can make your own decisions, and you can do whatever you have to do for your business and your lifestyle. I think the point of this video, fun is not optional, is do not forget that you can have fun, you can have spa time, you can have you time, you can relax, you can do whatever, brings light and brings space and brings peace and brings happiness for you as a business owner, as a CEO, as a person, for you.
Yeah, and also one thing that helps me in particular is like understanding what the goal is. So like for me, I always say that growth is the goal, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever you're having fun, we get to
Mm-hmm.
understand that like we're having fun, and that's gonna grow us in some form of way, which is gonna help us when we make our next step forward. After we've had our fun, then it's like the next step. We're gonna be ready for that next step, you know. So like we had that fun, we got all those kinks out of ourselves, and then now we're in a higher vibratory state in a sense, you know. We've got high energy, you know, focused. We're well rested, all that good stuff. And one of the things is like you don't like if you never had fun, or if you had fun but you want to have more fun, but if you want to do it in a structured way, which we recommend, is know what that fun means to you, and know what it looks like, because
Yes.
and know what understand like the experience of it.
Yes.
It's about an experience, and like whenever you're taking action on anything, it's like anything that you experience is gonna unlock something far more deeper within you than if you was just saying it. You know, if you was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, but you don't do it because it's not you didn't structure, you didn't put in your schedule, you didn't do it. It's lofty dreams, but now it's like it doesn't have to be lofty if you just schedule it, if you just structure it, if you just say like, oh, this is like create a picture from, like create a scenario around it, you know, make it fun, like make it cinematic, make it whatever you want it to be, that's gonna help you to move forward, you know. And so like even whilst we were having fun like this year, we still had levels of accountability in place. So like whenever we was like maybe off our work vibe, we got back onto that very like easier than we did prior to not having accountability, or prior to not having like communities around us where we can literally just snap back in, or step back into like that mode, that energy. So we learned how to, I want to say find balance, but like find what works for us and what doesn't work for us.
So in closing, we will recommend that you create yourself a fun list, and just think of things that would bring you joy in your life, things that would fill you up, things that you would love. And it can be, you know, from like, you know, very big things to even just small things. I'll tell you, for example, last Saturday, I woke up super early and I literally read a book all day, and it just felt so good. I was like, all I'm doing, and I had my little food that I was gonna have for the day, and and I took a bath. I literally woke up. I think I like cleaned up and did just a little bit, just because I felt called to. Like I didn't plan to like clean up on Saturday. Like I like clean up on Sundays normally, but I just felt called to like clean up. And then I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and clean up. And then I took a bath, and after my bath, you know, I got cute, put on like a little cute little
something.
a little something, a cute little something. And I literally was like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill and feel cute and feel luxury and read. And that's what I did. And then we ended up going to bed at like 8:00 on a Saturday night. We've never done that.
It's been a while.
I don't think we've ever done that. But we went to bed super early. But that was our Sunday, and we felt so fulfilled. And it was just very nourishing. So then this week, it didn't feel like I wasn't engaged with myself, or I wasn't loving myself, or I was, you know what I mean, or I needed to take a break, because I allowed myself to take a break on my fun day, right? On my, I don't want to call it my fun day, but like a time that I scheduled that was my time, right? And not the business, and not the clients, and not the van. It was my time. And so the home, I want to say the homework, but what we would recommend is that you create a fun list. And it can be something that's just, oh, I want to paint my nails, or I want to go for a walk, I want to go hiking. We do that sometimes. I want to just create a meal, whatever it is. I want to go travel. Like we went to Costa Rica this year, whatever it is. But make sure you have those big ones, and you have like just those moments. I just want to sit on the porch and enjoy some lemonade. You know what I mean? Like, be very specific and just have I would say do a full like a document, what do you call this, a Google Doc, or do a full piece of paper of all your ideas of things that's fun, and implement. If you can't do one a day, implement at least one fun thing that you can do every single week. I think that will be super supportive to you. So that way, when you have that moment to yourself, either on the daily or weekly basis, I would not say monthly, I would say every week you get to take a moment. And it can be, again, like just painting your nails, and I'm talking to the women, or for the men, maybe it's going fishing, or watching anime, or just going for a walk. But if it's not a daily like part of your routine, it could be something you do on a weekly basis that is fun to you. And it can be traveling, it can be an activity with yourself, whether it's a coloring book. Sometimes we color, we paint, we write poems together, having a drink with yourself, taking yourself out, just going to the mall, just going to sit somewhere, have a whole list of things that is fun to you. And it's fun to you. Like, allow yourself to think and to breathe, and to just have that moment this weekend. I would say do it today.
Start today.
Write a list of things that's fun for you, and start just doing one a day, or at least once a week. Have some fun time just for you. Do y'all understand that? Like, who's going to make this list? If you're going to make this list, definitely let us know. Say that. Say fun in the comments.
Comment fun in the comments.
And let us know what are some things that you do for fun, because give other people idea. I mean, because I'm being real. If you're anything like me, I had to learn, like, what do I like? What are my hobbies that have nothing to do with business? Like, I'm so like business and thinking like, I have to do all these things, but what helps me relax? What helps me enjoy myself and acknowledge myself and love myself? Ask yourself those questions, and create that list today, and implement one thing today. Like, it can be, it can be anything. And again, make sure it's not you thinking of other people. Think of yourself and acknowledge yourself, and love on yourself.
Yeah, and ideally write it on a piece of paper as well. Like, get a pen, get a nice pen, write it down on a piece of paper. I know you want to put it in your phone. I know. I see you. I know you want to put it in your phone.
I got my iPad right here.
Just write it down on a piece of paper. Get a nice pen and then write it down. So because you want to engage it. You want to engage physically with what you're actually about to do, right?
Yeah.
It's not optional.
Yeah. Fun is not optional, CEO. Fun is not optional, entrepreneur. Fun is not optional, you boss. I'm trying to have whatever you call yourself. I know we have a lot of entrepreneurs, CEOs, bosses, you know what I'm saying, who we work with and attract. And we just want to remind you that you get to acknowledge yourself. You get to make memories in your life. Your life is now. Your life is not tomorrow. Your life is not 10 years from now. Your life is not when you retire. Your life is now, this moment. And so, making sure that you acknowledge yourself and create space and a peace of mind and abundance in this moment to make yourself feel love, feel happy, feel joy. Like, you get to do that. And so we wanted to just remind you of that today. So fun is not optional. Start creating your fun list, your you list, your acknowledgement list today. And we will see you on the next video.
Yes, indeed. To your abundance and success.
To your prosperity and your profits.
Ooh.